when you're new in this country and they know you're hardworking, they know you get shit done, they're going to use you. And this is no, bitches in this world, man. God, I don't want to be a baller. I don't want to be a mechanic. What is happening, lovely people? Thank you so much for clicking on my video. My name is Lizalive and welcome to my channel. Woo! So today I brought you guys something a little bit different, okay? Like something a little bit... I brought you guys a story time. So this is a story time of how I managed to unlearn my accent because I was washing pots. And it's not a joke. I was washing pots and cleaning toilets for a year. Over a year in fact. So if you want to hear the story, then keep on watching. Yeah. You may or may not know I was born in Ghana, grew up in Ghana, and I got the opportunity to move to Europe. I was at school, I was at college, high school, equivalent of college here. So the plan was to finish college and go to uni. But I didn't have a stay at the time when I first initially moved. I didn't have access to student loans, so I was like, oh, let me just work for a bit to earn, save some money, and then when I've got the cash and I've got access to student loan and the grant, then I can start uni. So that was the plan. I could not find a job because guess what? I did not have any experience of working. I hadn't thought about the fact that I could like, not lie, but like, you know, when you've got some experience like helping back at home, helping my mom in the shop, that's like retail and stuff like that. So at the time I was just like desperate. My CV wasn't that great. I didn't really know how to put everything together, like fresh in this country, teenager guys. So I didn't have a good CV. I was putting things together, but it wasn't making sense. At this point, I was ready to do cleaning. I was ready to do anything that would like come my way, do you get it? So my brother knew someone. I was working in this restaurant, should I say, like a canteen type of thing. And yeah, they plugged me and I managed to get this job at this restaurant, at this place. So, you know me, fresh from Ghana, my balande, I've been told like, you working, you get paid by the hour. I'm thinking, rah, listen, I'm never gonna stop working. I'm gonna collect that money. Like I'm gonna make that money. Put me on the clock, okay? I was so gassed. I said, yes, yes, Lord, thank you. Like I've got a job. Now the job description was customer service assistant. Customer service assistant or retail assistant, something along those lines. The job description was like doing the tills, like cleaning the front bit, like setting up the plates and stuff, and you know, handling cash, those kind of things, like, you know, simple retail, working in a restaurant type of thing. So I was like, oh my gosh, like you see in movies. I was so gassed. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there, like talking to people. Listen. First day, I met the people, like the manager, the staff members, everyone seemed so great. I was like, oh my gosh, you're this guy. No, I was so excited, yeah. Little did I know that I was signing up for horror. I was signing up for struggles, okay? Like this was the beginning of the end. For me. Anyway, so at the time I didn't sound like this. Like I had my fresh English, Ghanaian grammar, everything on point. I literally mentioned every single word. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I had my typical fresh. Listen, I'd only been in this country for less than 30 days. Like it was just a few weeks. Did you get it? Fresh. Why did I say it? It doesn't get any fresher than that. Like I could not speak properly. Like my grammar was on point. Don't check me. Like I went to one of the best schools in Ghana. Grammar and everything's making sense, spelling and everything, reading, writing, everything's making sense. But the speaking bit was where there was a question mark. When I first stepped in, my manager was telling me about the role and what to expect and all of that. It was all doing well until she mentioned we had to clean toilets. I was like, oh my gosh, no, that was not in the job description. But you know, what was I gonna do? I was excited for a job, I needed the money. So I was like, okay, do you know what? As long as everyone else is doing it, like we're all dividing it. And she was like, yeah, we're all dividing it. Like, it's not gonna be one person doing the toilets all the time. We try to spread it around so it's like fair across the game. I was like, you know, that's calm. Like, let's go, let's get it. The other thing was there was gonna be a front part of the house and a back part of the house. So there was the back part of the flipping kitchen where you'd have to wash big pots, like industrial big pots. Like I don't know if you worked in a kitchen, like you know those pans that look like this and those big pots. Yeah, Anyway, so if you're in a shift where you're doing the back of the house, you have to do the toilets and the staff rooms and stuff like that. There's that, okay? I started working in this place. They train me in the back of the house. Like when it comes to the pots, you have to scrub the pots, and then like sometimes you have to use your hands to manually scrub it, but when it's not that bad, you can throw it in this like a pot washer, and then obviously when it's out, you have to like wipe them away and wipe them dry and then put them away. And then if you're doing the front, like you have to be on the tills, talk to customers, take their money, take their cash, replenish like the sweeties and the snacks and the drinks and the, you know, the little pieces that come together in like a, not a restaurant, like a canteen type of vibe. You have to like make sure everything's replenished, napkins, whatnot, all of that. And then there's always somebody that's gonna be collecting the plates, right? Collecting the plates, because also when the people finish eating, they put their plates, they're supposed to empty it and then like leave the trays on the like a stack somewhere, and then there's somebody that comes in to collect the plates and put them away into like this square thing that goes into a cleaning machine. So you have to arrange the plates and the trays, and then there's like the thing for the cutlery, and then there's like the thing for bowls and cups and stuff like that. So they put them away, and then there's another person on the other side that collects the clean ones, put all the trays in the stacked up. Like if you work in the kitchen or in a restaurant, you probably know about this. Like, you know, there's like a plate warmer, everything goes in there, and then like you put the glasses away where they're supposed to go, and the bowls and the knives and cut everything. Yeah, and that's the role. Okay, there's that. So I got trained on every piece of like aspect of the job, including the tills. Now this is where it started to get interesting, because guess what? On the tills now, me and my fresh little self sat down and holding the cue when I was being taught. Like I was panicking, like because I wasn't confident in my speech. I already knew like there was already issues with like understanding people. And listen, the place I was working at had different people from all walks of life. Like you'd have English people, Irish speaking people, Irish, Welsh, and in England we all know we have the Brummie accent, we've got the yum yums, we've got all these type of different accents, yeah? Liverpool accents, all of that coming at me on the till, fresh from Ghana, only 30 days in. Listen, I was petrified. Like every time someone spoke, I felt, oh my gosh, am I even gonna understand? Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what they said. And I'll just be like, pardon? No, that's a lie, Liza, you did not say pardon. I said pardon. That one was my favorite. Listen, I could not understand anything for the life of me. I would literally just say, pardon, please, I did not hear what you said. What did you say? No, like, listen, I was so terrified. It was such a busy place. Like, guys, when I tell you that they served over 1,000 people in one shift, in 1 hour slot, like, it was not a joke. It was that many people. So anyways, yeah, I was told very quickly that yeah, the tills ain't gonna work for you, darling. I hope you know, like, you're really holding the queues, like you take like about 10 minutes or 5 minutes for one person, whereas there's other people that can go like spend like literally less than a minute on a customer. So you're probably better off doing the back more or doing every other thing but not the tills. Bear in mind with the tills, you get to sit down, cross your leg, you get to have your little cup of tea next to you, you get to have a little chat, you get to have bands with the people that come in, you know? Anyway, so yeah, that wasn't for me, and I quickly understood, like, me being fresh, me being like, I don't know, yeah, let me not generalize this, but personally, when I came fresh from Ghana, like, I was very timid and very like submissive and very like ready to do whatever it is that they told me to do, because listen, I was here to make money. I was here to be that person that everyone was proud of. Like, I love being told that, yeah, well done, you know, I idealized that. So I was just like, yeah, let me do whatever it is that I have to do, like, to make it, you get it? So yeah, when my manager told me that, I was like, yeah, that's fine, like, no problem, like, I'll take my time to, you know, build that confidence, and then they can put me back on the tills eventually, hopefully. 1 month went past, 2 months went past, 3 months went past, 4 months. It became a pattern. I never touched that till. It was actually like a plague. Like, I was allergic to that seat. I could not get close, boy. It was not a joke. Every time I started my shift, straight to the back. The thing is, and this is where the issue is, and I hope somebody can learn from this story, yeah? when you're new in this country and they know you're hardworking, they know you get shit done, they're going to use you. And this is where you have to set your boundaries, baby girl. So I knew I was really good with everything I could do except the tills, except the fact, because obviously, and then the reason I wasn't good at the tills was actually, to be fair, I didn't get a fair chance to be on the tills that long. It was that initial thing that we're like, oh yeah, you're holding up the cues or whatever, so let's just give you a break of the tills. And literally that was that one time. Never went on the tills again. And then it was literally constantly me working the pots. Now, if I tell you how heavy these pots were, me and my little teenager self, I had like a special what's it called, stir fry night, where like the chefs will come in and do some stir fry, and then it was like a quick one where they'll bring the pot in, you have to quickly wash it and take it back. Listen, it was not a joke, it was proper hot. You'd have to wear these big welly boots, you had to wear these big gloves, you had to be in there digging, scrubbing the oily pots, you throw them in the thing, and after they come out you watch, literally. And when you're doing it in the pots, yeah, it literally be just you. The pots would just be cooling. The pots would literally be so much everywhere, like all around me, and I had to make it, get it done. And guess what? I always got it done. I always had to kill myself. I had back pains, my feet were dead. I had like flipping 6 packs underneath my feet because my feet were putting in the job, the work. So I was always used and I was always made to go there. Most of the time I'll do all that in the back and I would still go back to the front and the front bit would not get done. So I'll do all the heavy lifting, all the manual handling, all the heavy hard jobs, still come out the front, and guess what? The tables ain't been wiped. The floor ain't been mopped. Like the till's not been done. Like, okay, the only thing that will be done, actually, the till's always got done because somebody will take the till and take it into the office, cross their feet, and they'd just be chilling. Also, there was a rule that everyone had to finish together and then go home, so no one was allowed to finish and go, even though you've been assigned this job. You're meant to finish that job and you still have to help everyone else to finish before we could leave. I'm not saying they were racist, but you know, take what you want to take out of this. They employed another black girl. I think, yeah, there was another black girl that would come in. So like when sometimes like they would switch us around, and then she would do the back and then I'll do the front. So the front is not the tills, but then I'd like collect the plates and like take the plates through the machine. The person that did the till was meant to clean the tables and like did like do a little bit of mopping and sweeping, let me see. But that never got done, so we would still do all the hard jobs, come out the front and still come and mop. Like, what? What? And don't get me started on flipping breaks, fag breaks. Now, I'm fresh from Ghana. What the hell is a fag? I don't even know what the hell a fag is. What is a fag? And then I was like, what's this fag break thing that everyone's been having? Can I have a fag break? And then I was like, do you smoke? And I was like, well, no. And he was like, yeah, so you don't get a fag break. Oh. Arrested, yo. I said, why? No, bitches in this world, man. God, I don't want to be a puller. I don't want to be a mechanic. No, I'm laughing about it now, yeah. But guys, this was not it. Like, literally, I was just thinking, wow, at this point, I need to say I smoke so I can just have that little 10, 15. Listen, it wasn't even 10. It wasn't even 5. They could leave everything and go because, oh, I'm stressed. Oh, I need a fag. Oh, I need a fag. Oh, I need a break. And we literally, why do we allow this to happen? I should have spoken up. I never spoke up because what? I'm trying to be a good person. What? This was me, and I would just speak and just do all the job. I would never have no breaks. I would just be doing every single thing and still come back and still do other people's jobs. Like, it was getting ridiculous. 1 month went by, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and a whole year went by, and I was like, nah. At this point, I need to speak to a manager. So I spoke to my manager. I said, please, like, I feel like I'm confident now. Like, I can speak to people a bit more. At this point, like, I was speaking to, like, you know, the white Caucasian people that worked in the back more. Like, I was, like, you know, having bands with them and stuff. Like, you know, so I was like, I'm a bit more confident to speak to, you know, the masses. So put me out there, you know, give me a chance. Like, you get it? I never had time for myself. Like, I just work. Hey, is this arbitrary? Is this abroad? Guys, let's not kill ourselves because of money. Like, ask me where all that money is. I wouldn't even be able to tell you guys. Like, it's gone. That money is done out. But anyway, so yeah, I realized now I need to pick up. I need to actually start speaking properly so that my manager can get me on the tills. Do you get it? So I'd go on YouTube. I'd learn, like, I'd go on these like little short YouTube video skits, like I'd literally watch videos of how to pronounce this, how to say this, how to say that, how to, you know, like speak like someone from the UK, how to speak like someone from London, how to have a British accent. These are the kind of videos that I'd watch, and then how to pronounce this, how to pronounce that. Like one time when I was working, I said to the chef, like, oh, because I was working in the back, I'd always be like, can you please save me a burger? Can you please save me one of those burgers? He was like, burger? What's a burger? I was like, what do you mean? Like the thing with the bread and the lettuce and that. Oh, do you mean a burger? I was like, what do you mean? What's the difference? Like, what's the difference between a burger and a burger? Like, it was so annoying. But this is how I'd learn. I'd be like, so how was I supposed to say it? And he'd be like, you mean burger? Or like, I'll be like, oh, my father did this, or my father did that. So he'd be like, what do you mean father? And I'll be like, oh, what do you mean with my dad? Like, oh, like, you mean father, bar, or like, you know. So anytime I'd say something wrong, people will laugh at me. Like, I would literally not care. I'll be like, okay, you're laughing at me, great, but how am I meant to say it? And then they'll repeat it. And what they didn't know is every time they repeat it, I literally repeat in my head. Like, I would be like, father. Like, I literally be repeating in my head, like, just to build confidence. Like, I never forced it to be like, oh, I have a British accent when I haven't actually got it. Because even when I speak to my friends back at home, they'll be like, oh, so what, you've got your accent now? And I'm, no, I don't have an accent. Like, I'll literally just be very, very like subtle and everything. But deep down, I was learning. Deep down, and I was literally watching like a lot more Caucasian. Because also, I had this bad habit of watching Iroko TV. I had this bad habit of just like living in the UK and still watching everything that was happening back in Ghana. But then I had to deep, like, listen, Liza, you're gonna be here for a very long time. You need to start like getting used to like the culture. You need to start like getting, you know, like accustomed to a lot of things. I was like, yeah, it's true. So like YouTube was my best friend. I was watching loads of videos, loads of like little like ooh and slangs. Like, I didn't know what the hell a gaff meant. I didn't know what a lad was, like, you know, little pet names. When people would say stuff, like, I would literally just act like I've heard and I would laugh. No, please tell me this is not just me. Like, I used to be so embarrassed to say pardon more than twice. Like, if I said pardon and they repeated themselves, and then they said pardon, and I said pardon again, and they repeated themselves, and I still didn't get it, I would just be like, oh. Literally, my jaw used to hurt so bad. But I was like, I'm not gonna say pardon again. But then sometimes like they would realize I didn't get it, and I'd just be like, forget it. Or like they would try to actually make me understand, and all these silly Caucasian banter that I couldn't relate to, like I would literally just laugh as though I did, and I actually did not, or didn't even hear it. It was so bad. I remember like one time some guy was like, you're gonna let him stick to you like that? And I was like, what, like what? Because I didn't even get it. And like, oh, people, you know, like a lot of like men would be very, very like rude or like sexual and stuff, and I would just laugh it off, and they'll probably think I enjoyed it, but it's literally because I did not get it. I did not understand. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so all that made me like go on YouTube, and I was learning, watching like typical British movies. I can literally, any movie that was British, any movies that was English specifically, any movie that was like based in London specifically, any skits, any sketches, I literally watched all of them. Every single one of them I watched, and I literally repeated words, and I literally just like listened to myself. I literally record myself and listen to myself to be like, do I sound like good enough? Do I not sound good enough? Anyways, so yeah, long story short, this is how I ended up like, and I had the opportunity to go on the tails. My manager I was like, yeah, I'm very confident, like, you know, I can even have chats with you now, like I'm not that timid anymore, I'm not like shy, I can have a convo, I can pass a convo left, right, center, and I've got the bands now, like put me on the tail, guy, let's do this. Like, so sometimes he put me in the tail and I enjoyed it, but actually I still realized that even when I was in the tail, I'd still finish and have to go and help out in the back with the toilets and the pots and stuff, because people couldn't hold their own. So it was literally such a lose-lose situation. I could never win, and it was so bad. Yeah. Fast forward out, we had a new manager. She was actually a black woman. She came and changed so much. She was like, if they're having 5 breaks, make sure you're having your tea breaks, and people that are having 5 breaks can't have tea breaks at the same time. Like, it's not fair because we're all in the same job environment. It's not fair for one person to be taking that many breaks and one person's doing all the jobs. Like, she came and changed the place so much. And then, yeah, luckily I managed to like leave the place so quickly. I cut because I managed to get my settlement and I managed to start uni. I got the opportunity to start uni, so I was like, peace out. But yeah, that's my little story of how I unlearned, or why I decided to take it very seriously to unlearn my typical Ghanaian accent. And like basically just embrace the culture, because a lot of the times like people move from Ghana, move from a different country into a new country to settle, but they don't normally necessarily want to embrace the culture of the new environment. Like I used to say stuff like, oh, when I'd buy something, like even when I'd buy an earring, I'd be like, oh, this earring is £5. In Ghana cities there's like 100 cities or 1,000 cities or whatever it is, and then I'll just be like, oh my gosh, that's too much. I can't spend that on an earring. But it's like, you need to look good, you need to look after yourself, and it's like you can't keep living like you're living in Ghana because you're here, you're paying taxes, you're working hard. You need to look after yourself. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this story time, this little story time. I hope you've got to know me a little bit better. If you enjoyed the story, make sure you leave this video a very big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more, and let me know if you want to see these kinds of story times. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you. Mwah. Bye.